You already know they're lying. You see the greed, the manipulation, the abuse. But you still follow. And worse, you admire them. Why do millions defend leaders who exploit them? Why do we glorify the very people who would crush us if it meant more power? Is it stupidity, brainwashing, or something much darker? According to Friedrich Nietzsche, the answer isn't just political. It's psychological, existential, and disturbingly natural. We're going to explore a truth most people don't want to hear. That humans don't just tolerate domination, we're drawn to it. This isn't about left versus right. This is about why so many people, maybe even you, find strength more comforting than truth, and why corrupt leaders keep rising while the good ones get buried. And by the end of this video, you won't just understand the system, you'll understand your own mind. Let's start with a truth no one wants to admit. You are not as free as you think you are. You think you choose your leaders, that you weigh facts, that you vote with reason. But if Nietzsche were here, he'd laugh, not cruelly, just knowingly, because he understood something most never grasp. Humans are wired to worship strength, not goodness. We say we want virtue, but deep down, in the dark corners of our psyche, we crave power, authority, dominance, even when it's corrupt, because the raw animal part of you, the part that survived evolution, war, famine, betrayal, doesn't care about truth or justice. It cares about survival. And survival loves a strong master. Nietzsche called it the will to power, the fundamental drive behind all human behavior. Not morality, not peace, not love, power. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. That same will to power lives inside you. You see a corrupt leader shouting, intimidating, bending the world to their will. And while your rational mind resists, something else inside you submits. You may not like them, but you respect what they represent. Control, certainty, force. Because in a chaotic world, the corrupt leader plays a role. They become a symbol of strength, of order, of the primal certainty your fragile ego can hide behind. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever supported someone not because they were right, but because they made you feel safe? Because they spoke with confidence even when they were full of lies? You're not alone. Nietzsche warned us. People don't want the truth. They want the illusion that someone is in control. That illusion is powerful. It's addictive. And that's how tyrants rise, not by force, but by invitation. Because when people are scared, tired, uncertain, they don't want responsibility. They want a master, so they worship the one who looks like a god, even if they act like a devil. Now, here's the dark twist Nietzsche throws at us. Maybe it's not the leader who's corrupt. Maybe it's the need in people that makes corruption inevitable. That's the core question. Is it them, or is it us? Because the truth is, you don't get a dictator unless people are ready to obey. You don't get a manipulator unless people secretly want to be told what to do. And that is the terrifying mirror Nietzsche holds up to humanity. Let's get one thing clear. Most people don't choose morality out of strength. They choose it because they feel powerless. That's the dark insight Nietzsche gave us in his book on the genealogy of morality. He said that what we call good and evil didn't come from some higher truth. It came from history, written by the defeated. Here's how it works. In ancient times, the powerful didn't feel guilty. They didn't apologize for winning. The strong did what the strong wanted. They were warriors, kings, conquerors, and they called themselves good because they were alive, rich, fearless, victorious. But what about everyone else? The weak, the broken, the ones who couldn't fight? They had a problem. They couldn't defeat the strong, so they redefined the rules. They said, "You are not good because you're strong. You are evil. We are good because we're humble, obedient, suffering." And just like that, morality became a weapon of the weak. Nietzsche called this slave morality. It wasn't born out of truth. It was born out of resentment, or as he called it, ressentiment. That bitter, quiet rage you feel when someone else has what you secretly desire. So when we say, that leader is corrupt, they shouldn't have so much power, they're immoral, sometimes we're right, but sometimes we're just jealous. Because the truth is, if you were in their position, if you had that money, that power, that influence, would you really be better? Or would you simply enjoy what they do and hide behind better excuses? Nietzsche wasn't interested in comforting lies. He wanted to expose the motivations beneath morality. Because he believed the noble soul has reverence for itself. But the resentful soul, it hides behind fake virtue. So next time you look at a corrupt leader and say, how can people still follow them? Ask yourself, is it because those people are immoral? Or are they just tired of pretending that obedience is goodness? Maybe deep down, they're not attracted to the corruption. They're attracted to the freedom from guilt. Because corruption doesn't ask you to be good. It asks you to be honest about what you really want. And that is both terrifying and seductive. Let's break a modern myth. People love freedom. They fight for it, die for it, kill for it. Really? Then why do so many people, again and again throughout history, vote for tyrants? Why do they defend liars? Why do they ignore corruption, even when it's choking them? Nietzsche had an answer. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe, because most people aren't individuals. They're members of a herd, and the herd doesn't want freedom. It wants a shepherd. Let that sink in. Freedom is terrifying. It means thinking for yourself, choosing your own values, standing alone, risking rejection. You want to know why people worship corrupt leaders? Because it's easier to be ruled than to think, easier to obey than to confront your own emptiness, easier to chant with the mob than to face your inner silence. Nietzsche saw the modern world becoming a society of last men, apathetic, comfortable, addicted to distraction. Men and women who say, I have my job, I have my entertainment. Why should I care who rules me as long as I'm not disturbed? These people don't want truth. They want comfort. They want to be told they're good. They want someone to blame when life hurts. They want leaders to carry the weight they're too scared to bear. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly made a decision that wasn't influenced by approval, fear, or comfort? How often do you say what you really believe? How often do you play along with the tribe just to belong? You see, Nietzsche believed that true freedom isn't given, it's taken. And very few people have the courage to carry the burden of freedom, because real freedom demands you ask, who am I without rules? What do I believe if no one tells me what to believe? What happens if I stop playing the good citizen and start living by my own will? Here's the scary truth. Corrupt leaders don't enslave the masses. The masses create them because they're scared of standing alone. It's not tyranny that's unnatural. It's independence. And until you admit that, you'll always be at the mercy of the next strong voice who tells you what you want to hear. You've seen the corruption. You've seen the herd obey it. You've seen yourself numb, angry, helpless. So now the question is, what will you do about it? Nietzsche's philosophy wasn't just about tearing illusions down. It was about rebuilding the self from the ashes. He said, the only way out of the herd is to evolve, not with slogans, not with morals, but with will. He gave that next version of humanity a name, the Übermensch, the overman, the one who rises above the crowd. Not a superhero, not a dictator, but a human who creates their own values, who doesn't kneel before comfort or tradition or tribal fear, who doesn't worship power or run from it, who masters their own. The Übermensch doesn't need a corrupt leader because they've become the ruler of themselves. But here's the bitter truth. Becoming that version of yourself, that's hell. It means killing your comfort. It means walking away from fake virtue. It means questioning everything your teachers, parents, and society told you was right. It means standing alone, misunderstood, maybe even hated, but alive, awake, unshackled. Nietzsche's voice isn't gentle. He doesn't want you to be good. He wants you to be whole. So ask yourself, do you want freedom or applause? Do you want truth or tribal belonging? Do you want to become or obey? Because in a world full of followers, choosing to think is rebellion. Choosing to lead yourself is war. And most will never do it. They will live and die in the herd, pointing fingers, worshiping tyrants, and calling it virtue. But a few will walk the harder path. A few will become dangerous, awake, uncorrupted. Let's stop pretending. Tyranny isn't a glitch in the system. It's not rare. It's not surprising. Tyranny is the default setting when people stop thinking for themselves. And here's what Nietzsche saw long before our time. If you don't evolve, someone else will decide your life for you. History is a graveyard of civilizations that refuse to confront this truth. They got soft. They got scared. They looked away while someone stronger took the throne. It doesn't matter how modern you are, how educated, how free your country claims to be. If you refuse to take responsibility for your own values, someone else will sell you theirs. And they'll wrap it in flags, gods, ideology, or algorithms. You'll beg for protection, and in return, they'll take your freedom. And you'll say, thank you. Nietzsche saw it coming. He warned of a future where the masses would drown in comfort, where mediocrity would be worshipped, and where truth would be too offensive to speak out loud. Sound familiar? And what happens when people stop telling the truth? When strength is mocked? When individuality is feared? Someone eventually shows up who doesn't care about being liked, who doesn't care about being good, who doesn't play by the rules. A tyrant. And guess what? The people will cheer, because by then, the herd will be too exhausted to care and too cowardly to resist. But this video, this moment, this uncomfortable mirror Nietzsche hands you, is not meant to depress you. It's meant to wake you the hell up. Because you're not powerless. You're not a victim of the system. You are the system. You are the follower, or you are the creator. You get to choose every day. Will you keep handing your mind to the loudest voice in the room? Will you keep outsourcing your courage? Or will you finally do what Nietzsche demanded? Face your own darkness, kill your false idols, and become something dangerous enough to never need a master again. If this shook something inside you, good. That means you're still alive, still capable of becoming more than what the world trained you to be. Like, share, and leave a comment. Are you the herd or something else entirely? The battle has already begun. It's not out there. It's in you.